Hey guys, so I'm on my way to see It Chapter 2 with my friend Dan. You will be getting an in-depth review about it. So the first half of the video will be spoiler free, and then the last half will have spoilers. So I still want you to watch the video. Just if you haven't seen it, don't watch the last half because there will be spoilers in it. But yeah, you will be getting an in-depth review of it. I will be giving you like a whole rating. I'll even be giving it my own like little Rotten Tomatoes score. But I'm going to pick up my friend Dan now, and we're going to go see It Chapter 2. So I'm excited to give you guys my review, and I'm also really excited to see the movie. I saw the first one, and I also saw the original It. So, like, I'm a big fan of this series. I love horror. But I love horror, so, like, I'm really, really, really excited to see this, and I'm really excited to review for you guys. So I'll see you guys back when I'm in my room reviewing it. Now it's time for my review of it. Yeah, I don't know why I did that right there, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my in-depth review of It right now, It Chapter 2, and I have to, like, figure out, what did I watch? I'm sorry, I'm calm now. I'm calm. Why did I record that bit? That was so stupid. But yeah, I'm going to give you a quick little in-depth, not really quick, but in-depth review of It Chapter 2, what I liked about it, what I thought of it. So basically, It Chapter 2 was weird. It was just super weird. So the first thing I want to say is, if you haven't seen, like, the first one, like, don't watch this one, because there are a lot of things in the first one you need to know, a lot of things you need to see. So, first off, don't watch this if you haven't seen the first movie. Secondly, it's way too long. It's about 2 hours and 50 minutes, so it's going to run you a lot of time. My friend Dan and I both saw it, and about an hour in, we're like, what the heck? How is this going to end? Like, we thought it was 2 hours long. Turns out it was 3, so that was rough. But the actual movie itself was good. I enjoyed watching it. If it would have been a 2-hour movie and they cut out some parts, I would have actually really liked it. Dan and I both gave it like a 6 out of 10, 5 or 6 out of 10. We both thought it was good, but it wasn't good enough to watch the second time, especially how long it was. See, for me, when it comes to really long movies, it has to be like spectacular. It has to be... Like, Endgame, for a perfect example, it was ridiculously long, and I didn't think it was worth how long it was. But if Infinity War was that long, I would have been fine with it. I would actually want an Infinity War to be longer. I didn't want to stop watching it. But there are certain things about, like, long movies, like Titanic. Titanic is crazy long, but people love watching it because it's worth it. It's a well-made movie. It's smart. The directors were good. Now, one thing I want to say about this is the acting was amazing. Bill Hader, James McAvoy were outstanding in the movie. I don't know any of the names of the other actors, but they were so good. I think my favorite person in the movie was Bill Hader. I think he did the best, in my opinion. I think he emphasized his character really, really well. If you don't know who the characters are, you might want to, like, stop watching, because if you don't know who the characters are, you won't know a single thing about the movie. But I'm going to give you guys my spoiler-free review real quick, and then I'm going to go into the spoilers. So, get ready, because here's the spoiler-free part. Are you guys ready? Still watching? I think I see you out there. Dad, I see you. I can see you right now. I see you watching this. But, so, the spoiler-free part, I think it was average. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just a very average movie. It takes place 27 years later. This is spoiler-free. It literally said this in the trailer, which I will link below. So go watch the trailer after you watch this video, because watch my video first, because I need the money. But, 27 years later, so they kind of made, I can't say much about it, but they made a decision that they will kind of be the people who defeat it every time. Or Pennywise, after the events of the last movie. If you guys haven't seen the last movie, I'm sorry, but I'm spoiling the last movie, because it was like 3 years ago, I think. Maybe it was last year, but still. After the last movie where they defeated it as a child, defeated Pennywise as children, they decided that it was kind of their job to take care of it anytime it arises. So they go through this entire thing. It's a long, long time. I think I'm not spoiling anything when I say that we all know how it ends. Before I watched the movie, I knew how it was going to end. So, like, don't get mad at me if you think I'm hinting at how it ends, and if Pennywise is defeated a second time. He is. But I would definitely just give it like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It was average, not a great movie, not a bad movie. Just something that, yeah, I wanted to see, because, like, it's supposed to be one of the biggest movies of the year. In my opinion, a big letdown. My friend Dan said it perfectly. He said this could have been one of the best movies of the year. It could have been amazing, but it wasn't, because there were too many things in there that it was just overhyped, and too many things that were just long-winded that made no sense. Now, onto the spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, cut the video off and then come back and watch this after you've seen it, all right? All right, you guys all got your warning. You saw that little screen right there that said spoiler alert. So if you're watching this and you haven't seen it yet, this is your fault. Do not blame me. But so that thing I was mentioning earlier that I didn't want to say is they made a pact. It was a blood pact where if it ever arose again, Pennywise ever arose again, they're coming back and they're kicking some ass and they're beating it. So obviously Pennywise comes back again. First thing I didn't think was that smart was like the beginning thing. I guess like I think it was just ridiculous how they made it work. You could have definitely shown Pennywise coming back without having like a homophobic scene that had nothing and added nothing to the movie at all. Literally the beginning scene was just like these two guys who were at a carnival, and they were at a carnival, right? And they're just hanging out, and these two gay guys just chilling, doing their thing, and these three dudes, I think it was four dudes, decided to jump them and literally killed one of the guys. They threw him into the river after bloodying him, and he got eaten by Pennywise. Like, it made no sense. There was no need for the homophobic stuff. You could have had someone playing around in the river and got attacked by Pennywise, but no, they threw that in there for no reason. Really, really dumb. But it's set up where you see one of the characters, Mike, he never left the town. So he ended up staying there for 27 years after this happened, never left the town. So that's been his life. He's been in the library, he's living above it, and he's just going crazy. But he calls everyone back because he realizes Pennywise is back. He calls all of them, Stan, Bill, Bev, Ben, Richie, literally all of them. So they call all of them and they're all like getting, and then you go to Stan, where you see like they kind of have a flashback to where they're cutting their hands for the blood oath, and they cut to Stan, who is in his bathtub, bloodied, hands just like, and I'll get into that in like a minute or so. I'm not gonna do like a 45-minute. This is gonna be like a 10-minute video, I hope, at the most. I'm not feeling like doing too much editing for this, but yeah. So all of them come back and they're at the dinner table and they're wondering where Stan is. So after they have this whole meltdown where they figure out Pennywise is back, they're enjoying themselves. One of them calls Stan's wife and finds out Stan killed himself. Well, they say he's dead. They find out at the end he killed himself for a reason. But Stan is dead. He had slit his wrists. His wrists were slit, blood out in the bathtub. And they find out that Beverly had seen how all of them died. So this actually does lead into the fact why they all stay instead of running away like they expected, because they found out if they didn't destroy Pennywise, they were all going to die the way that Beverly saw, and they wouldn't last another 27 years. They wouldn't last another cycle, so they had to defeat him before the end of his cycle. So basically they're going through this whole adventure. They have to get these things that like they're called artifacts. They're just little personal totems of themselves. They have to go through because they're going to do a ritual that Mike found. So they go through all this crazy stuff. Another thing that made no sense is you see this one kid that reminds Bill of his brother Georgie. Bill spends like 45 minutes trying to save this kid where he just dies. Kid gets eaten by Pennywise, has no progression to the story, no nothing. It's wasted a bunch of our time. Literally, there's a really dumb scene that just ends up making you scared of fun houses. Because the kid gets eaten in a funhouse. It's just stupid, made no sense, pointless. So this leads up to them going back to the big house, where they decide they're going to kill Pennywise by doing this ritual. Well, they go through to the ritual. Turns out Pennywise straight up trolled them, tricked them. Nothing. That ritual wasn't going to work because Mike left out a key component of this tribe he went to that everyone who tried it before got murdered by Pennywise. So he left out something where that ended up throwing everyone off. Basically, they all had to go conquer their fears. Actually, you only saw Ben, Beverly, and Bill conquer their fears. You saw a funny little scene with Richie and Eddie. Oh, I forgot to mention Eddie. Richie and Eddie, where they end up running into a Pomeranian because Richie mentions that earlier. You never see anything with Mike. Mike kind of has given up at this point. He's just scared. But, yeah, so, and they end up fighting the thing big time. Like, Eddie throws a spear through it, thinks he kills it. Pennywise ends up killing Eddie. Really sad, but they find out how to beat it by making it small. They insult it, kind of. I think they have a little nod to how the reason he was so hateful is because, actually, I don't know. They do have a little nod to the original movie, the 1990 something one, where it ends up being a spider, but it's a little twist on it. So Pennywise has the spider legs, and he ends up kind of like being the big bad, but they kind of like they realize they have to make him small, so they're insulting him, bringing him down, like literally like tearing him to pieces, and he ends up getting so small that Mike reaches into him and rips his heart out, and they all squish it. So Pennywise is dead, gone for good. You see the actual like cave where he is, like his heart is, because he's some ancient being. Crash. They all escape. Sadly, Eddie dies. So two of their I believe it was 7 or 6 friends are now dead. All that's left, 2 of 7 friends are all dead now. All that's left is Richie, Ben, Mike, Bill, and Beverly. That's all left. They end up doing, I guess, like it's a little like monumental thing from the first movie where they dive off this place, go into the water, and they all talk about Eddie. You see Beverly and Ben fall in love because that was meant to happen. Ben has been writing her notes when they were younger. He finally confesses to it. The ending was weird because like it gets you no closure. Like the ending, you find out that the reason Stan ended up killing himself is because he knew he didn't have it in him to go there, and he knew they all had to be there in person to fight it and defeat it. So he killed himself to like give them a chance, and that was a really, really nice send off. But the ending of the movie shows Mike finally leaving the town, because earlier they showed a flashback to him saying when he graduated he's going to Florida. So you kind of have an idea. There was no end credit scene. All you get was like a little hint that Richie might have been gay. I don't know. Or he was just really good for... it's so weird. There were things that just made no sense. There was progression they tried to make with the characters they went nowhere with. So I ended up having a big problem with the movie in that aspect. But that is my spoiler-free and then spoiler-included review. If you guys like this, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I do suggest you go check out the movie. If you're a fan of the It series, it's a good way to watch it and then kind of conclude it. Also support the actors who are in it because they did a great job. The acting was awesome. I loved the acting. They were amazing. It's just the way it was written was really really bad. So I hope you guys go see the movie. Once again, I'm linking the the trailer. Probably I'll link the final trailer below. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the trailer. You guys can go check out some of my other videos. I always have it. I think it's up here or right here at the end of the video. There's the little boxes. And then, of course, right up here in this area is where a subscribe button's going to be. So if you guys want to check out my channel, help me out, please leave a like and go check out my other videos. I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.